Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report, presented by 5v5hockey.com.
Yo, welcome back to the Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report. It's Buschy with you once again. If you enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more Red Wings content. Today we got some big news in the morning. Woke up, Patrick Kane is a Detroit Red Wing. And this is something we talked about a month ago. And there were some rumors about where is he going to sign? Is he going to go back to the Rangers, the Leafs, the Stars, Panthers, Sabres? And the Red Wings were in the mix. And at the time, I thought, let's Ken Holland kick some tires and go, like, does this make sense for the Red Wings? Does it not? Should we move on? And I think at the time I said I would never say no to more talent. And I'm always going to say that. Patty Kane is a Detroit Red Wing. I was actually pretty shocked that this is where he ended up. Am I excited about it? Yeah, I am. Are there people that are not so happy about it? There are, and we'll get to that. I know that it's a little bit of a polarizing topic with Patrick Kane, but let's go through some of the pros, the cons, and I wouldn't even say pros and cons. Let's go risk and reward. Now, at the very least, I think as Red Wings fans, we can laugh in the face of Blackhawks fans everywhere and say, hey, the Red Wings are basically Mr. Steal Your Girl, because this has happened before with a player that maybe towards the end of his career played a long time with the team that he was on, that was maybe a rival of the Red Wings, that maybe that team would, the fan base wouldn't like the Red Wings. I'm talking Mike Modano with Dallas, I'm talking Daniel Alfredson with the Senators, and I'm talking David Legwand with the Predators, and now Patrick Kane with Chicago. Hilarious. Before I get into kind of risk reward, the contract is very, very simple. 1 year, so for the rest of the season, no trade clause. He's making $2.75 million. So they still had like $5 million of cap space. This is negligible. Obviously, prorated, it's around like $2 million because we're already like 20-something games into the season. So that is actually not a bad deal. Now, a no-trade clause is going to come with every single deal like that. So people that are bitching about a no-trade clause, if for some reason the Red Wings, the wheels fell off, and at the deadline they were selling and they wanted to trade Patrick Kane, this is basically how he can say, here's where I want to go, right? So like that's something that is always going to be a part of it. We hope that never comes to fruition because with this move, you hope the Red Wings are a playoff team. So let's start with some risks. Now, obviously, Patrick Kane, in his heyday, was an NHL MVP. He's a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, one of the best American-born players of all time. I think we can all agree on that. Now, putting aside that he used to be a Blackhawk, he went into last season injured, was with the Blackhawks. They were terrible. They trade him at the deadline to the New York Rangers. There was a bunch of money retained because he was making $10 million. Now, did he really fit into the Rangers? I mean, he did okay. Now, advanced stats-wise, not so good. He had a really, really bad hip injury, and he had basically almost a reconstruction of his hip. I think he was playing hurt all of last season. We have to assume if you're getting a surgery like that, you're absolutely not 100%. And who is to speculate on? Was he 50%, 75%? I have no idea. He wasn't himself. So he had to get that surgery, get that done. One of the comparables that I've seen is Nicholas Backstrom of the Washington Capitals. With some athletes, it doesn't work. And with Backstrom, I don't think it worked. With Patrick Kane, I think knowing that this is a big deal for him, he took his time, took all offseason, took the first few months of the season to rehab. I'm sure with a physical therapy background myself, that he was getting therapy literally every day, multiple times a day, getting strong. And when he's ready to go, he'll be ready to go. And it might be right now. And he might not play the first few games. Obviously, ironically, they're playing the Rangers and the Blackhawks. So it'd be kind of cool to see him be at Little Caesars Arena against the Blackhawks in a Red Wings sweater. Would be amazing. And I hope that happens. But if he gets injured, God forbid he gets injured, we put him on LTIR, doesn't count against the cap, and it's like this never happened. So the risk really isn't there. It's super low risk. The rewards are a lot higher than that. If he gets even back to a little bit of the form that he had with the Blackhawks, we're talking immediately a top 6 player for the Red Wings. His chemistry with Alex DeBrincat is something that has been documented very, very well when they were both with the Blackhawks. There's a stat out there like something like 74 assists, something like that. Between the two of them, a lot of goals scored with DeBrincat getting a couple 40-goal seasons, and Kane was a big part of that. The biggest reward of having Patrick Kane at what Patrick Kane can do is he's a 3-time Cup champ, he's a veteran presence. Yes, he's 35, but it's something that I don't discount on a team that's trying to make the playoffs. He's been there so many times, and there's not a lot of guys on the Red Wings that have been there. So I'll break that in all day. He is an elite playmaker. I mean, his hands are still one of the best in the league. If his feet speed is still there, great. If not, I think he's going to be an awesome distributor for some of these guys like Larkin, DeBrincat. Even you look at guys like Raymond. Who knows who they're going to play with? And we'll go through a little bit of the lines and what I think they might start with and what they could do. Again, this is just my thoughts on it. I don't think this is what's going to happen. But right now, the top line is Veleno, Larkin, Raymond, and they've been playing really well, so you don't split them up. Line 2, you have Kane, DeBrincat, and JT Compher. That sounds like a really nice line to me, too, that can score. You can actually put them kind of like above each other. You go, which one is line 1? Who cares? If one of them is producing, then great. When I say there's no such thing as too much talent, this is why, because now you have guys like Perron, Fabry, Kopp. Third line, Sprong, Rasmussen, Kostin, and Fisher are your bottom 4 forwards. You actually have... You're infusing more scoring into the lineup. What Patrick Kane is not going to do, look at me right now. What Patrick Kane is not going to do is play defense, okay? That's just not what he's about. He's an offensive player. That's what he's going to help, scoring and the power play. He's not going to be a defensive stalwart. He's not going to be out there on the penalty kill. That's not what he's ever been known for. So if anybody out there is bitching about, oh, we need more team defense, this isn't the signing for you. He's here for pure offense. And if he's putting points on the board, that's all I care about. We can look towards the deadline for some more defensive help or goaltending or whatever we need. That's probably going to be more of a deadline acquisition. The best thing about this Patrick Kane signing is they didn't have to give up anything. So when a lot of people are out here going, well, like, why did we get Patrick Kane? Because he's free. Yeah, he costs money, but it's not yours. It's not mine. He's coming for no assets. You're not giving up a draft pick. You're not giving up a player, a youngster, anything like that. He's coming to you for free, and he's on your roster. And no, he is not blocking our young players. I've gone through this with free agency. The reason that Patrick Kane is here is because some of these guys aren't ready to step into those top 6 roles. Is Jonathan Bergen ready for a top 6 role? No. Is Elmer Soderblom ready for a top 6 role? No. Marco Kasper, he played one NHL game. Like, none of these guys are ready to make that big jump. The next guy in the AHL that is, in my opinion, that should be here is Simon Edvinsson. That's a totally different story. And the biggest takeaway from this is it's an awesome thing that Patrick Kane chose the Red Wings, because it's showing that a rebuilding team does not make this move. They're going for it. They want to make the playoffs. They want to get better. And that's something Steve Yzerman has always said. I want to make the team better. And he thinks that Patrick Kane is going to do that, and I also think he will. We need to put aside the fact that this guy was a Blackhawk, okay? I hated him when he was in Chicago because he was so good and because it's the Blackhawks. But now he's wearing the Red Wings winged wheel. He's part of our team. And I'm not going to get into his past. It's all over Twitter right now. I hate getting into that stuff. I'm one of those guys that's kind of like, can you help my team win? Then great. You know, I know that stuff in the past with like the cab driver. I mean, he was like in his 20s. The guy's 35 years old now. He's got a family. He's got a kid. Like, you mature, okay? We have to move past some of the petty shit that was in his past, okay? We did it with Todd Bertuzzi. Guy broke a guy's neck. So I think we can move past it with some of the guys that we've even had on our teams. We were chanting Todd Bertuzzi's name every single game at the Joe, okay? At the end of the day, this guy was a Blackhawk, but he's not anymore. He is a Detroit Red Wing. He's wearing the winged wheel. We have to root for this guy to succeed here, because if he succeeds, our team succeeds. I'm looking forward to seeing how much money he gives Daniel Sprong to get that 88 from him. I know that Sprong said that he's going to give it to him. So number 88, Patrick Kane as a Detroit Red Wing. Are you excited? If not, tell me why in the comments. If it's some petty crap, I mean, fine, but I think we all have to move past it. This is, if you just look at it as a hockey move, it should help the team. Now, if there's a hockey-related thing that you think this isn't a good signing, I'd love to hear about it. If you think that, you know, his foot speed's not going to be there, or you think that the advanced stats aren't there, if you think he's just washed up and he's just, you know, not worth the hassle, that's fine. And like, you guys can have that opinion. I'm going to try to look more on the positive side. And most of the time I'm kind of doom, gloom, skies falling. But I think that he's going to be a good addition to this team. And going forward, I hope he really, really helps us and we get into the playoffs, and he's a big part of a playoff run. Listen, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, please like, comment, subscribe for more Red Wings content. I'll see you in the next one.